Did you ever have one of these moments where you first heard of an atrocity or the responsible person and just thought, how can one be such a piece of shit? How can people commit these things? These people who could have done anything being perceived as good while still not deserving more than despise. These people whose suggestions, however good they may be, would automatically be devaluated just for the fact that this human posed them. Look here, I'll give you a personal example. A group being particularly exposed to the possibility of being pieces of shit are sparsely criticized individuals employing a position of power, i.e. kings. On top of that, a policy in particular which often results in a huge pile of shit is colonialism. Leopold II was give or take the most brutal colonial ruler in history. Basically, dude asked his friends over in Berlin to hand him a piece of Africa. They approved and now it's his private property. What does this asterisk mean though? Oh, here we got the Congo Free State, in which pretty much every inhabitant could throw a normal dice with a number below 4 meaning certain death. The regional policy in the Congo allowed the people in charge to use whichever means they pleased to exploit the territory as much as possible for gain. One of the few rules in place was not to waste more than a bullet for one dead indigenous human. To prove this, one was to cut a hand from the shot corpse. Unsurprisingly, when the people responsible felt like it, for example after having shot too much ammunition, they just cut the hands from alive human beings instead. Or even their genitals if someone didn't meet the quota and the village was already burnt down. Or get this, kidnap a father's 5-year-old daughter, leaving him in unimaginable angst, kill her and then don't even think about returning the whole corpse. A hand and a foot is all he gets. Okay, this makes me feel sick. If you now try to grasp the scale of this operation of pain, try to grasp that this happened to a bit more than 10 million people over a 20-year time span, you'll be unable to. Potentially the phrase one human every minute for 20 years is easier in this regard, or another comparison, the ongoing corona pandemic has a death toll worldwide only about half this size. Leopold II was for the better part of his life relatively popular among his folks. He built a park, a chateau, and a racist museum. He managed to retain neutrality in the Germano-French War as well. But at the end of the day, this one question remains for me. How can you be such a piece of shit? Actually, I don't even mean this rhetorically, but honestly as something to think about. It is so true that multiple circumstances resulted in this at the end. On the other side, there were also many things that could have prevented the suffering. Take as an example, if the population knew what was going on earlier. The public pressure would have led Leopold II into a position of needing to take action. However, it seems like this only worked way too late after way too much suffering. So what would have led to a different result in this case where all external means fail when laws don't really apply for someone? It should be fairly obvious. Had Leopold II used his moral principles more consequently, judging rationally upon them, this would not have happened. The only thing necessary here would have been for him to take the basic principles that you shouldn't hurt someone and that you should respect life, principles which apparently were in effect regarding his relations to the Belgian population, and apply these on the indigenous people in the Congo Free State also. After all, it's the same pain every human feels and the same will to live every human has, regardless of their skin color or even intelligence. So to understand this and conclude that personal wealth should not warrant such massive pain couldn't be so difficult, right? And yet Leopold II seemed unable to conclude rationally here. Or maybe something else. He was a fucking big-ass hypocrite with 2 approaches to moral. But can we learn from this? Can these flaws be applied to the present? Do we still have situations similar to what I described? Well, I started seeing a lot of parallels here. It's a matter of fact that meat causes massive amounts of pain, and I was contributing to that. Pretty much an identical line of thought. I know that animals feel pain and that animals want to live just like other more intelligent bipeds. Despite that, I make them feel pain and kill them in ways I wouldn't ever wish on any human just for a nice taste in my mouth. It really didn't matter what other good things I did. I clearly was a hypocrite. But one thing I really don't want to be is someone who accepts this hypocrisy, because I know how destructive this mindset is and how destructive this mindset has been in the past. When I first thought about this was of course less clear than now, but intuitively I came to this conclusion time and time again. I became vegetarian then and was as a result responsible for a lot fewer deaths while still causing unimaginable amounts of pain. This, however, also did not feel right. I especially realized this when first starting the German version of this script. So here I am, convinced that in order not to devaluate my constructive suggestions in relation to all the atrocities I am responsible for, resulting in massive hypocrisy, I have to live vegan. So I do it.